right, guys, welcome back to the Funko. I am Adam, back for another episode. This time I'm actually here with a special guest, a very good friend of mine named Garrett. I'm going to ask him a couple things. He's actually just gotten into the pop game recently, and he's actually kind of an exclusive pop collector. He actually does WWE pops, which I know nothing about really, so I figured that would give you guys kind of a general idea of, obviously Funko Pop collecting, but also for the people that like WWE, give you a couple little tidbits of information on maybe what to collect, what you may want to collect in the future, things like that. So to go and get started, and here's Garrett. Garrett, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Couple questions, kind of narrowed them down here to make it quick and simple. What would you say your top 3 pops you have right now, WWE of course, that you currently have gotten over the course of the last year?
Well, that's a great question. For my top 3, first would be the most recent one that I acquired is my AJ Styles Funko Pop. AJ Styles is a famous wrestler. He's been around for, whether you know it or not, he's been around for years. He's just made his way to the WWE. And what makes the pop itself cool is that, he's got a real funky style to him. He's got a vest, much like Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he's also got kind of a mom haircut that everybody makes fun of. But even the detail in the pop is really good with the designing on the gloves and just his boots, and it just looks really good. It's not rare, but it's just a good one to have.
Okay, so he brings like the new, the MILF, man I'd like to fight.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay. So that's one. What would be your...
The next one of my favorites, and I wish I hadn't unboxed it because I don't have the box anymore, but it's my Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Okay.
Woo! Woo! Everybody loves Ric Flair. I mean, even now his daughter Charlotte's in the WWE, but the pop itself is really cool because he's got his trademark robe, and it's a pink robe with the designs, the sequins, the trademark flowing blonde hair. It's just cool. It's just a really pimp pop. You gotta have it.
Okay. Now, she's a little bit better looking than Ric Flair, right?
Depends on who you ask.
Okay. And then your third one, what would you say your top third pop you have is now?
That would definitely have to be my Finn Balor FYE exclusive pop. For those of you who don't know, Finn Balor is a pretty good wrestler, but he has an alter ego called the Demon. And when he comes out, he wears this pretty cool headdress. Now, there's a few different Finn Balor pops. I believe there's 3 or 4 different ones. The FYE exclusive features the headdress. The Chase pop actually does not. It does feature the same makeup, but it doesn't have the headdress. And the headdress makes the pop pretty heavy, but it also makes it feel like you've got something pretty cool. So that's definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah, honestly, I have seen that one, and I thought the same thing whenever I saw it, because they have all the ones coming out, and they showed the Chase, and then they showed that one, and I was actually very surprised, because honestly, I'm with you, I almost like that one better, the FYE exclusive, than the Chase.
Right.
The Chasers are so hard to find that obviously it's good to be able to get an exclusive one like that's that nice.
Exactly.
And speaking of pops in general, like who actually got you into pops? Who created the monster inside you?
Well, it's no secret. That's all your fault. You actually showed me the Funko way, and I fought against it. I fought against it for a long time. But with anything else, especially when it comes to collecting, you have to find things that you're into. So a lot of people just grab pops because they have a high value to them, or whatever their reasons are. But for me, it was just things that mean a lot to me. Whether it's the Karate Kid, something I saw as a kid, or like these wrestlers and wrestling pops. I've been into wrestling as long as I can remember. So all the ones I have do have some sort of meaning to me, and I blame you for all this.
Well, I'm definitely sorry for that. I can blame somebody for my obsession too. I just wanted to kind of continue the tradition and make somebody else infected with Funko
And poor.
And make you poor as well. Absolutely. Right. I'm single though, so you're married. That's the only bad part. I'm single and I can afford to blow it and nobody look at me funny when I spent $30 on one pop. So, but we'll stay with WWE. Obviously, that's the show. What would you say? And you can give me two if there's two that you're kind of deciding on. What would you say is like your Grail WWE pop, or I guess if it was WWF prior, I'm not even sure about that. So, what would you say your Grail pop would be?
Sure, I would have to go with The Rock, as cliche as it is. The Rock, as we know, has transitioned from the WWE, where he began, to being a successful, probably the biggest movie star on the planet right now.
Yep.
And his pops are definitely hard to find. I mean, you can go to eBay, of course, and find it and pick it out. But someone like myself, I'm all about the chase and looking and trying to find what I want. So it's probably never going to happen in the wild. But The Rock is definitely on my list.
Okay, and sad that you say that, because I actually did that. I actually upped the ante and actually bought The Rock on eBay. I think for like $30.
Nice. It's not bad.
But I didn't watch WWE. I watched it when it was still WWF, whenever it was like late 90s, early 2000s, when him and Stone Cold were the whole show.
Right,
so I have him and Stone Cold, and that's it. I've thought about getting a couple other guys, but then again, like you said, you want to collect something that you're very much into, to where it's not just, you're just buying random toys. You actually have a set that you're actually trying to accumulate. So
Right.
I'll probably stay with those two. We'll see. And one big thing also that was really neat, you went to the WrestleMania Access in Orlando recently.
Yeah, that was April 1st of this year. Again, being a huge wrestling nerd, I was able to go and experience and see a lot of different things that you normally don't have a chance to see. This included one-on-ones with wrestlers, and even a chance to see some exclusive merchandise. Sadly, though, the Funko portion was pretty generic. I did pick up a 3-pack of these wrestlers tag team called the New Day. I did pick that up there, and I believe it's the same one that you can find at Toys R Us, but because the New Day was in town and all the other wrestlers were in town, I thought I had a chance to get them to sign it, so I picked it up there at WrestleMania Access. Didn't catch them. But I'm still glad that I have it, because it's a really cool pack. I mean, 3 characters. One's got a trombone. They just have a really different look to them, and they're just fun to have. So even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's a good pack to have.
Okay, and that's the one that has like the Budios or...
Right, yeah. One's got a cereal box. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's really colorful, really detailed.
Okay.
It's definitely one to get.
Okay. And the top 3 WWE pops that if Funko called you up and said, Garrett, we need you to come up with 3 new pops that people are going to love, what would you say those 3 pops would be?
Oh, that's an excellent question. And when you think about, just the decades and how long wrestling has been around, I mean, that's a pretty wide net you got to cast. But if I had to pick 3 right now, first off would have to be Shinsuke Nakamura. This guy is what they call him, the King of Strong Style. He's a Japanese wrestler. Doesn't speak a whole lot of English or very well, but he just has swag. He's got a whole style to him. These red leather pants, this weird haircut. Thinks he's Michael Jackson, but I mean, that pop will easily have 3 or 4 different versions in a chase if they ever do put that out. So that would definitely be my first. Also, just a wrestler, an older wrestler that's near and dear to me, Junkyard Dog.
Okay.
He was kind of a popular guy, but when I think about Junkyard Dog, not only is it cool because, he is a black wrestler. There's not that many, especially ones that left any kind of legacy. But it would give them a chance to make some nice accessories. He always came out with a giant chain around his neck, had a big fro, a beard, almost in the vein of Mr. T. So I think that would be a good one because of the aesthetics. So
Okay.
You've got that one, and then the third one. Maybe a surprise, but I think Vince McMahon deserves a pop. I mean, this is the godfather of the business, the guy who did it all. So, I mean, there's no bigger tribute than, to put him in his suit and, give him his own Funko Pop. He deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could see that, because I remember even whenever I watched back in early 2000, that you would see him getting into the ring with these guys that are, and he's a big guy at that, Vince McMahon, but I mean, he'd get into this with, Stone Cold or Triple H or whoever, and I mean, he would somewhat fight around him. I mean, he held his own.
Oh, exactly. There's even, if you look it up on YouTube, there's a clip where he comes to confront some wrestlers in the ring. He gets in the ring, he actually blows out his quads, and he pretty much falls on his butt, but still does the action and does everything he has to do, but he literally can't walk. I mean, and his dad, who started the WWE, wouldn't let him wrestle. So once he took over everything and his dad passed away, he slowly worked his way into fulfilling that dream later on and started wrestling.
Okay. And I know, obviously, his son, I think his wife, or his daughter, Stephanie, and Shane, I know they all wrestle, or did before. I don't know if they are still now. But no, that's really it. That's all I kind of wanted to go over, just some WWE pops. Like I said, I'm kind of totally out of the dark, other than just, maybe the top 5 or 10 that I know of. So I figured it'd be better for the show, better for any wrestling fans out there, to actually speak to somebody who actually knows a little bit about wrestling. All the people, the 2 top ones that he wants to make, I have no idea who they are. So if you're big time wrestlers and that's awesome, hit me up on Instagram and Facebook if you have some questions, or you can let me know if maybe you have a suggestion for maybe a WWE pop that should be made. But that's all the time we have. I want to thank Garrett for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of an outro here, kind of a contribute to Garrett. He's a talented musician outside of his daily grind for back and forth to work. So I'm going to hit you up with an outro featuring him, and we will see you next time. You guys have a great day.
I got 5 mics, it's no fight. Cause every night we touch mics, the track's tight. We forming like Voltron, connect to wreck it. Expect disrespect to your chest protector. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. If you meet, the harder you spit, the bigger you ball. I've been in it for a minute, you've been in it for years. You been trying to make friends, I've been killing careers. And now I got you, who gon' run to your side? Your boys, they running inside whenever I ride. I got this lock, I'm stocked with rhymes that blow spots. And those who not hot, get they snot box raw. I never discriminate, like Arnold, I terminate.